For sale by owner versus realtor, what does a real estate agent do? That's our topic today. Let's get started right after this. Hi, I'm Kim Ward. Welcome back to my channel. I am a certified probate real estate advisor and expert with helping executors and administrators with homes in probate. So what's the difference between for sale by owner versus realtor, and what does a real estate agent do? There are many benefits of working with a realtor when selling a piece of property here in San Diego, California. During the challenging times that we're having right now, it becomes even more important to have an experienced, knowledgeable, skilled real estate agent on your side. That person can help you through the process, making it simple for you. If you're considering selling for sale by owner, like selling directly to an investor, you might want to consider these following tips. Number one, safety is a priority. During this pandemic, it's very difficult to control and know who's going in and out of the property when you're selling by yourself. It's very difficult to control who's entering the home. I have the protocol in place to protect the personal property as well as the home of your loved one. And I can regulate who's actually entering the home. Even before we allow entrance into the home, we're asking buyers to view the photos, that's why I get professional photos, and any virtual tours that we have prior to coming into the home. Having those professional photos online where most buyers start their search, as well as a virtual tour, equals more viewings virtually, and then more viewings of qualified buyers in person. Number two, having a powerful strategic online presence and marketing plan is a must to attract the buyers. Recent studies have shown that even before COVID-19, 44% of buyers were starting their search online. Throughout the process, this number jumps to 93%. So those numbers have grown exponentially of buyers who are looking online, starting their process of finding their home. So that's what's so important about having a good presence online, because we want to promote the sale of the house to as many buyers as possible and perhaps receive multiple offers for you to consider. Number three, there are many negotiations. Here are just a few of the people you'll need to negotiate with if you choose to go for sale by owner. The buyer, who of course wants the best deal possible. The buyer's agent, who solely represents the needs and wishes and wants of their buyer. The inspection companies, who are hired by the buyer and will always find challenges with the house. And the appraiser and the buyer's loan officer if there is a question of the value of the property in today's current marketplace. For almost 20 years, I know how to negotiate every aspect of a real estate transaction. And just as important, how to mediate the emotions of your home buyers that are probably making the biggest purchase of their lives. Number four, you don't know if your buyer is actually qualified to buy the house. Having a buyer who wants to purchase the house, of course, is the first step. And naturally, making sure they can afford it is the more important step. As a for sale by owner, it's nearly impossible for you to be involved in your buyer's mortgage process. I know how to ask the appropriate questions, and in almost all cases, I will be aware of the progress that's being made towards your buyer's loan qualifications. What I want to do is keep moving things along so that your buyer actually gets a loan commitment. That's the way they'll be able to purchase the house. Further complicating the situation is the ever-evolving mortgage process. We've all heard the stories of people being laid off. And in the middle of your transaction, you don't want to find out that that's what's happening. And a loan that was there yesterday could be gone tomorrow. You need someone who is there every day, making sure that your buyer is able to get a loan. Someone that can help through the entire process and get you to the closing. And number five, for sale by owner has become more difficult because of the new legal documentation that we have here in California. The documentation involved in a transaction has grown to be even more. And believe me, here in California, we have a lot of documentation when selling a property. There are more and more disclosures that are now mandatory in a transaction. And these additional disclosures and documentation are specifically because of the COVID-19 issue. I have another video on my channel here that is all about the new documents specifically necessary in your transaction in regards to COVID-19. You'll want to watch that too. In this increasingly litigious world we live in, your agent acts as a third party, helping you to avoid legal jeopardy. The one thing you don't want to experience is a call 3 to 6 months after the transaction closes, finding out that a piece of documentation, important documentation in your transaction, had not been completed or included at all. That documentation will protect you from receiving phone calls that you don't want to receive. Documentation is one of the reasons why for sale by owners have dropped from 19% to 8% in the last 20 years, as long as I've been doing this, now that I think of it. And the last thing you need to know is that overall, when hiring a skilled real estate professional, you will net more money. The reason people even consider a for sale by owner is because they don't want to pay commission. And I do realize that that's the main reason someone would even consider not having someone like me helping them through the entire process. What's important for you to know is the seller and the buyer both cannot save the commission. A study by Collateral Analytics discovered that FSBOs, for sale by owners, don't actually save anything by not hiring an agent. And in some cases, the seller may even make less money. I actually met with a man probably about a year ago, and while I was in the house talking with him about how I could help him, an investor walked in, and I guess he had been speaking with this investor who walked in and said, "You told me this house was move-in ready," and was really quite rude to this gentleman. And surprisingly, he ended up selling the house to this investor and made $25,000 less than if he would have had someone like me help him. I was surprised by that, but sometimes that's what people choose to do, and I'm not exactly sure why. So going back to that study, is they actually found that overall, the pieces of real estate sold for 6% less. And one of the main reasons why is the lack of exposure. And you know, when you hire a real estate professional and they really know how to help you prepare the house for sale and then properly market it all over the internet, including participating brokers' websites, then you're marketing to a much larger buyer population. This enlarges your buyer pool and gets more people interested in your home, hopefully having those multiple offers occur. Bottom line is, the more buyers you have view the home, the more chances you have for a bidding war. And finally, attempting to sell your house on your own leaves you handling every aspect of the transaction. Why do that when there's a good possibility you can net the same or more by hiring a professional real estate agent? Before you decide to do the transaction on your own, let's discuss it. We can connect and we can talk about all your options. Thanks for watching. I hope to speak with you soon.